Rising brethren, this is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give all praise to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Prayer to the Most High blesses this lesson this evening. Gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past in order to understand the events that are currently happening on the earth, so they may get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. We're going to try to do this next topic in 3 videos. So we're going to have a part 1, part 2, and part 3. I'm going to try to do all 3 today. So it's going to be a couple of shorter videos to kind of set the groundwork for what's going on here in the 3rd video today. So let's pray the Most High gives me the time and to be able to finish up these 3 today. Because as you see, every single day now, more things are happening. People are realizing, even with this death of Kobe Bryant, they're finding all of these things that was all these predictive programming. Before I even started this video on Instagram, someone had posted a commercial with Kobe Bryant and Kanye West. And I think Kanye West was being taken up in a helicopter. And Kobe Bryant was looking at a ball. And it stopped at 41, which was his age. And he threw the ball at the helicopter. And the helicopter exploded and fell to the ground. See, now as you've been awakened by the Father, you can definitely understand, you can definitely see the matrix that we are in. You see how everything is already pre-planned. There's no such thing as chance. That's something that the churches have pushed, that everyone has free will and everything is just up to chance. And people are realizing that that's not the case. Even with this awakening, it's not open to everyone. It's only open to the ones that the Father has called. Some brethren will get, some information, and that's where the Most High will leave them. Some will get more. That's where the Most High will leave them. Some will get even more than that. But it's all predetermined. I was blessed to be able to get this set of books, and I'm bringing you guys some of the information. I barely got the books yesterday, and it just fits in with what is going on. Some brethren had made a video talking about how everything that you needed to know about the 10 tribes is in the Bible. And we know that's not true, because the records of what happened to the 10 tribes and how they have fulfilled the curses of Deuteronomy were not talked about in the Bible. But they are talked about in history books. And when you know what key words to look for, you can find them. We're going to be reading a little bit from this book right here. One of the subscribers emailed me a while ago and brought this book to my attention. And we just purchased it a couple weeks ago, and we're waiting for it to get here. And it just got here. And you're going to be amazed at all the information that's in here and how it fits with everything that's going on right now. This is what the cover looks like right here. Okay. It's like a 4-volume set. Okay. It's called A History of the Life and Voyages of Columbus by, Washington Irving. All right. And we're going to talk about today how this was fulfilled over here. How Deuteronomy 28 and 29, and how they actually even use some of the terminology from here in this book. Part of our curses for not following the Most High was, let's start at 28:28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness. And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore. And no man shall save thee. Okay? Now, if, which we already know, the people that were here, the so-called natives, as they like to call them, were Hebrews, then they would already know that these curses were going to befall them. they would have already passed this tradition down from generation to generation, because that's what our people did. They wrote things down. They passed, things down orally, and there should be some records of that happening. Well, in this book, you're going to see those records right now. I'm going to read a little bit from here. We're going to start in the middle, okay? And this would be on page 278. Okay, it says, in this way was the yoke of servitude fixed upon the island, and its thraldom effectually ensured. Deep despair now fell upon the natives when they found a perpetual task inflicted upon them, enforced at stated and frequently recurring periods. Weak and indolent by nature, unused to labor of any kind, and brought up in the untasked idleness of their soft climate and their fruitful groves, death itself seemed preferable to a life of toil and anxiety. Now, the natives here weren't used to this tough or hard labor because they were still living under the blessings of the Most High. The Most High, as long as we followed his ways, he would provide for us. So therefore, for our people to do this kind of hard work wasn't necessary. But when the curses come, all those blessings were taken away. And our people are realizing exactly what is happening with the arrival of the Spanish. They realized that the covering that the Most High had given us being a holy people and being separated, was no more. And our people were coming to that conclusion right now. So let's continue. They saw no end to this harassing evil, which had suddenly fallen upon them. No escape from its all-pervading influence, no prospect of return to that roving independence and ample leisure, so dear to the wild inhabitants of the forest. The pleasant life of the island was at an end. The dream in the shade by day, the slumber during the sultry noontide heat by the fountain or the stream, or under the spreading palm tree, and the song, the dance, and the game in the mellow evening, when summoned to their simple amusements by the rude Indian drum. Okay, so the blessings that they had been given by the Most High, as long as you followed him, you would live in leisure. The Most High would be taking care of your needs. That was all taken away. Now I find it very interesting that they would use these words in the next sentence. They were now obliged to grope day by day, with bending body and anxious eye, along the borders of their rivers. So we're going to use the word grope because now everything was taken away from them, their leisure time, and now they were forced to do all this hard labor. So let's read that again. They were now obliged to grope day by day, with bending body and anxious eye, along the borders of their rivers, sifting the sands for the grains of gold, which every day grew more scanty, or to labor in their fields beneath the fervor of a tropical sun, to raise food for their taskmasters, or to produce a vegetable tribute imposed upon them. They sunk to sleep weary and exhausted at night, with the certainty that the next day was but to be a repetition of the same toil and suffering. Or if they occasionally indulged in their national dances, the ballads, to which they kept time, were of a melancholy and plaintive character. They spoke of the times, let me see if I got all that. They spoke of the times, yes, okay, that were past. The white men had introduced sorrow and slavery and weary labor among them. Now, so they knew that the white man had came over here, and that's what they were bringing. They were bringing the curses. They were well aware of this. These are things that you're not going to find in the Bible. When you hear people talking about everything you need is in the Bible, this information about what happened to the 10 tribes and how the curses fell upon them, you are not going to hear. You're not going to hear that. You're not going to hear the accounts of the 10 tribes and what the things that fell upon them in the Bible. Therefore, you need to go to other places. And they're actually using some of the actual same language that you would even find in the Bible, because they knew exactly who they were coming to get. Now, check this part out, because these people, our people, they knew the prophecies. They knew that the Most High had already warned us. And they had been dealing with these omens as talked about in the Florentine Codex for years, saying these people were going to come and take away their life, liberty, and their lands and everything, and subject them to harsh labor. So right here, it says, and they rehearsed or pretended prophecies handed down from their ancestors, foretelling the invasion of the Spaniards. The strangers should come into their island, clothed in apparel with swords, capable of cleaving a man asunder at a blow, under whose yoke their posterity should be subdued. These ballads and eretos they sang with mournful tunes and doleful voices, bewailing the loss of their liberty and their painful servitude. So it sounds like the old Negro spirituals that our people would sing as they were toiling through slavery, going through slavery. We are the people that the Most High had given these prophecies to. We were the ones that were awaiting our punishment, knowing that what was to come. You don't think we would have written this stuff down? And that's where the Book of Mormon comes in. But let's continue this part real quick. They had flattered themselves for a time that the visit of the strangers would be but temporary, and that spreading their ample sails, their ships would once more bear them back to their home in the sky. In their simplicity, they had repeatedly inquired when they intended to return to Ture, or the heavens. They now beheld them taking roots, as it were, in the island. They beheld their vessels lying idle and rotting in the harbor, while the crews scattered about the country were building habitations. Let me continue reading this part real fast. Okay. Let me see here. While the crews scattered about the country, building habitations and fortresses, okay, the solid construction of which, unlike their own slight cabins, gave evidence of permanent residence. So our people, even back then, were like praying and hoping, when are these people going to leave? And then they realized that they weren't going to leave, that they were going to be here permanently. They were going to be here for a very long time. Fast forward till today, we're seeing the Most High shake the foundations of the other nations. We are seeing how the Most High is loosening the grip that these Gentiles have had on our people all this time. We are living in the days that our ancestors here in these books were looking towards. They were looking for the opportunity to live the life of the blessings that they had before. And that's what our people are looking for again today. We're praying at 6 o'clock for the Most High to restore us, to restore our people, to restore our lands, so that we may go back to living the way the Most High intended, the way these people here, our people here were, they were used to living for the Most High, doing the will of the Most High, not having to toil and work hard and have to worry all the time about this bill, that bill, this issue, that issue, going to work every day, commuting back and forth, dealing with people, that don't like us, that don't respect us. Those are the things that we're praying that the Most High will take away from us, and then He'll restore everything as it was before. That's when you read at Joel 2 and how he talks about moving the northern army away and restoring the lands and replenishing the years the locusts have eaten. That's what this is going on. That's what's going on right here in this book. This is what the people, the natives here, were praying for. They didn't realize they were going to have to wait hundreds of years for the Most High to answer their prayers. But as you can see right now, that's what the Most High is doing. These curses were going to be here for a very long time. Our people were hoping it wasn't going to be for very long. But we know it's been, 500 years since, that big change, an energy shift. It was about 500 years ago. And that was the beginning of the plagues around this time, 1520. And now we're in 2020 and you're seeing plagues being unleashed again. And that's something we're definitely going to be touching on in the next couple of videos. There's a reason as to why the vast majority of the world has no idea about how prophecy is going down, how prophecy is being fulfilled right now. but it is being fulfilled. The Most High is concluding the matter. The Most High is concluding the times of the Gentiles here on our lands, here subjecting our people, to being under their foot. So I don't think of it as just a coincidence that in Deuteronomy 28:29, when it's talking about, and thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. That's what they use. They chose to use the word groped in this book because they knew exactly what they were doing, and they knew that they were fulfilling Deuteronomy 28 and the curses. The thing I'm going to end on this short video on is let's go real quick to 1 Nephi again, 13:11 through 15. We have to kind of repeat a lot of these verses because, like I said, it's all matching up. And it came to pass that the angel said unto me, behold, the wrath of God is upon the seed of thy brethren. That's what you heard about right then, right there in this book. And I looked and beheld a man among the Gentiles, who was separated from the seed of my brethren by the many waters. And I beheld the Spirit of the Most High, that it came down and wrought upon the man, and he went forth upon many waters, even unto the seed of my brethren, who were in the promised land. And it came to pass that I beheld the Spirit of God, that it wrought upon other Gentiles, and they went forth out of captivity upon the many waters. And it came to pass that I beheld many multitudes of Gentiles upon the land of promise, and I beheld the wrath of God, that it was upon the seed of my brethren, and they were scattered before the Gentiles, and were smitten. And I beheld the Spirit of the Lord, that it was upon the Gentiles, and they did prosper, and obtain the land for their inheritance. That's what you saw to the T. That's what you saw in that book right now. They even saw how the natives had prophecies that they knew these people were coming. And they were wanting to be restored all the way back then. But there was so much more to go. But now we're coming to the end of that time. And that's why you're seeing all these signs coming up. And we'll be getting to that shortly with some more videos. All praise is to the Most High, Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.